And staying in the United States, former President Donald Trump heaped praise on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a recent interview. Calling him a friend, Donald Trump said Prime Minister Modi is the nicest human being and a total killer. The ex-president also talked about the Indian leader's visit to the United States in 2019 and even tried to mimic Prime Minister Modi's aggression, making the podcasters laugh. Here's more on the interview.
Not just U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, but her opponent Donald Trump also appears to be on an interview spree, that too in a non-conventional manner. The former president recently sat down for over an hour-long podcast called Flagrant to leverage popular entertainment media to reach young masses who might not follow the traditional news sources. During the interview with comedians Schulz and Akaash Singh, Trump talked about his family life, surviving 2 assassination bids, his stance on immigration and foreign policy, and what he wants his legacy to be. However, what stood out the most was his relationship with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. According to Donald Trump, Prime Minister Modi is the nicest human being and a total killer.
Modi, he's a friend of mine and also the nicest human being. Before him being appointed as the Prime Minister, India was very unstable. On the outside, he looks like he's your father. He is the nicest and a total killer.
The ex-president also recalled the iconic Howdy Modi event that was held in 2019 in Texas, where the Indian Prime Minister addressed a large gathering of Indian Americans.
They did a thing called Howdy Modi in Houston, Texas. It was me and him, and it was beautiful. It was a gathering of around 80,000 people, and it felt like crazy. We were walking about. Today, maybe I won't be able to do something like that.
And at one point during the podcast, Donald Trump also tried to mimic Prime Minister Modi's aggression.
On a couple of occasions, somebody was threatening India, and I told Modi, "Let me help as I am very good at it." To which Modi aggressively responded, "I will handle it and would do anything necessary. We have defeated them for hundreds of years." And I said, "Whoa, what just happened there?"
It is worth noting that throughout his presidency, Trump maintained close ties with India and Prime Minister Modi. Following Prime Minister Modi's visit to the United States, the former president traveled to India in 2020 for the first time, where he was welcomed by a crowd of around 100,000 people.
The aim is to strengthen and deepen.
Apart from Prime Minister Modi, another key moment from the podcast was quite an embarrassing one for Donald Trump. The 78-year-old called himself a truthful person while expressing his frustration over the investigation into the Capitol Hill riots and Democratic attacks against him. However, instead of acknowledging Trump's apparent innocence, the podcast host began laughing in his face.
Our movement to make
Donald Trump also touched upon the hot-button topic of reproductive rights and said he believes in making some exceptions for abortion. These include threat to life of a mother, incest, sexual assault, or if the father is a murderer. With the election day just 25 days away, early voting already started. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are relying on media blitz to sway undecided voters and clinch the historic nip and tuck presidential race.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.